There once was a prince named Daniel. He was taken from his home very young, and he was brought to Babylon to serve King Nebuchadnezzar. Now Daniel was a man of God. He always did what was right. Now, and even though he wasn't at his house, he would always pray to God 3 times a day. So then, one day, there were 2 other men that the king had appointed. There were 3 men that the king had appointed, King Nebuchadnezzar had appointed to be his servers. People that would be doing stuff for him, like in the 3 highest places in the kingdom. One of those men was Daniel. Now the other 2 men were jealous because the king liked Daniel more than them. So then they came up with a plan. Now Daniel would always pray 3 times a day. He'd pray to God. So then one time, while he was praying, they took him and they brought him to the lion's den. They tricked the king into making a law so that no one is allowed to pray to any other god except him for 30 days. Now Daniel always would pray to God, so he didn't listen. So then they threw him into the lion's den. Now God protected him when he was in the lion's den, and the lions didn't hurt him. Instead of hurting him, they were more like house cats, because the Lord was restricting them and kept them from attacking him. So then, the next morning, after being in the lion's den for a whole night, the King Nebuchadnezzar, came to check on Daniel. When he saw that Daniel was still alive, they let Daniel out of the lion's den. And he put those other bad men who tried to put him in the lion's den, they threw them in instead. Daniel lived quite a good life. Later on, he became a prophet, and the king had a disturbing dream. So then, when the king had that dream, he asked for all of the wise men, to come to him. None of them could tell him what his dream was and what it meant, as he required for both the explanation and what his dream was. So then, when he saw that they couldn't answer him of that, then he got mad and he made a decree to put all of them to death. So then, Daniel, he came to the king when he heard about that news, and he asked the king to give him time. Now, the king gave him time. So, Daniel went, and he went and prayed with his friends for God to give him the meaning of the dream. Anyway, he prayed with his friends, and then that night, God revealed to him what the king's dream meant. So then, when God revealed that to him, then Daniel went to the king, and the king asked him if he knew what the meaning of his dream was. Daniel answered correctly and said, "No, no one knows what his dream meant, except for the Lord God, who has shown it to me this day, what your dream was." So then, the dream was that there was a statue. Daniel interpreted the dream. The dream was that there was a statue, and the statue also it was made of different materials. The head was gold, which represented Nebuchadnezzar's kingdom. The breast of silver, and then the thighs of iron. No, the thighs were bronze. No, I made a mistake. The thighs were I can't remember correctly. Anyway, after the interpretation of the dream was that and then after the materials were shown, then a stone broke the statue, and then the stone turned into a mountain which filled the whole earth. The interpretation was that soon, very soon, God's kingdom, all the other kingdoms would be destroyed, but God's kingdom will never be destroyed. It will, the whole earth. Anyway, so then, that's pretty much it. After the interpretation was given, the king made Daniel ruler over. The king raised Daniel's position, and Daniel lived a happy, long life. You can read more about this story in the Bible. You could read about it in Daniel from chapter 1 onward. This was a true story. It happened a couple thousand years ago. So, hope you guys enjoyed this Minecraft version of the Bible story. And I'll see you guys next time. See you guys next time.